Howdy y'all, I'm Brylan. In today's video, we're looking at all the top stories. I'm going to show you how Trump just declared all of Biden's pardons completely null and void because of an auto pen signature. I'm going to take you through and examine all of the signatures and how a lot of them look very sketchy. We're also going to look at how an Obama-appointed judge just ordered a plane full of illegal criminals back to the USA because illegal gang members have more rights than you do. I'm also going to show you the very latest response from Trump himself on the Epstein files, the JFK files, all of the things, and his response to how Pam Bondi has done regards to the release of these files. We're also going to hear from Pam Bondi herself once again regarding all of the files. And finally, I'm going to show you the new, just absolutely shocking numbers on Trump's approval ratings and what Americans actually think of how he's doing as president during his second term. Real quick, would you mind hitting that thumbs up button? You know, when you like this video, you're not agreeing with the insanity. You're helping push it out to more people to help spread the truth. All right, so Trump just declared all of the pardons that Biden gave during his final days in office completely void. This was Trump's response when asked by a reporter if basically everything that Joe Biden signed during his presidency, if it's all null and void now.
Are those executive orders, those pardons from the president now null and void?
Well, I think so. It's not my decision. That'll be up to a court. But I would say that they're null and void because I'm sure Biden didn't have any idea that it was taking place. And somebody was using an auto pen to sign off and to give pardons to, as an example, just one example, but the J6 Unselect Committee. They gave, think of it, they gave pardons with an auto pen. I don't think Biden knew anything about it. And what they did is they deleted and destroyed all of the information that took them over a year to get.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how these committee members are the ones that are the moral warriors. They're the ones that are the harbingers of truth. But they had to be pardoned? How does that work?
We have thousands of murderers that Biden and his incompetency, first of all, he's grossly incompetent, but that Biden and his people and his probably auto pen, it looked like we had an auto pen for a president, and we would have been better off than that probably. But it looks to me like, you know, that's a big subject. I'm sure you want to ask about that. But the whole subject of auto pen, did he know what he was doing? Did he authorize it? Or is this somebody in an office, maybe a radical left lunatic, just signing whatever that person wants? That's not what it's all about.
You know, I agree here. I don't think an auto pen should be used in this kind of capacity from the president of the United States. I mean, think about how that could be absolutely weaponized. And this goes for both sides, left and right. I think having an auto pen on things like pardons, on like signing official documents, to have it just auto done, and you don't even have to be there in order for your signature to be put on certain documents. That is insane to me. It should be physically signed by the President of the United States. In fact, look at this auto pen update. We analyze Biden's January 19, 2025 pardons for the Biden family, Fauci, General Milley, J6, and Gerald Lundgren. Look at this. All of them have the exact same signature. Obviously done with an auto pen.
It is, and by the way, there's no indication that President Biden signed these with an auto pen. That's what President Trump is arguing, that these were signed with an auto pen and therefore they're not valid. We don't know that they were signed with an auto pen, but even if they were, it's unclear that that would be an issue.
Here's the exact same signature done with that same auto pen on December 30th, 2022. This was when Biden pardoned, it was 5 criminals on the same day that the news was showing him in the Virgin Islands playing golf on December 30th, 2022. In fact, one of the headlines were Biden escapes his luxury St. Croix villa to play golf. In fact, when you look at the executive grant of clemency by Biden to his son, you remember the Hunter Biden pardon, that they swore was never going to happen. and then it happened. Look at this signature. It's along the same lines as the auto pen signature, but it almost looks like the B is messed up here. So was this done with an auto signature, and then he just kind of scribbled on the B to physically have done something because they knew, wait, maybe if he doesn't actually put hand to paper, then it could be void. This was the signature that he used on that official statement, that he was not going to run for re-election. Look how radically different this signature is. Are we going to pretend like all of this is legit, like a president can just have an auto signature and not even be aware of what's being signed? Is that what the office of presidency has come down to? Is that what it means today? I would love to know your thoughts on the auto pen controversy down in the comment section, though. Next up, look at this. This is wild. Just insane at this point. Obama appointed judge orders planes deporting Tren de Aragua to return to the U.S. A judge said to make sure it's complied with immediately. He's not giving any ground to wait or to talk this through or to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't bring illegal criminals back to the U.S. Judge James Bosberg put a temporary hold, 14 days, which they've been putting holds on everything Trump does. All these corrupt judges have been trying to stop and put holds on literally everything Trump is doing, even though America has given a mandate to Trump to do these things. In fact, Tom Homan always loved what this man has to say.
I mean, who in the right mind, whether you're a judge or not, wants known public... TDA, a recognized terrorist organization, sent here by the Maduro regime to create havoc, to unsettle the United States through the use of fentanyl to kill thousands of Americans, violence to American citizens, and murdering young women in this country. They are enemies of this country, and President Trump treated them as enemies, and we did exactly what we should have done. Again, President Trump is going to make this country safe again. He's going to do it one illegal alien at a time, and this weekend, we did 261.
Here's what Trump had to say, and then I'm going to show you what one prominent leftist had to say about Trump trying to deport illegal, violent criminals.
Criticism that the Alien Enemies Act has only been invoked 3 other times. They were all during times of war. Do you feel that you're using it appropriately right now?
Well, this is a time of war because Biden allowed millions of people, many of them criminals, many of them at the highest level. They emptied jails out. Other nations emptied their jails into the United States. It's an invasion. And these are criminals, many, many criminals. Yep. Murderers, drug dealers at the highest level, drug lords, people from mental institutions. That's an invasion. Yep. You invaded our country. So this is in that sense, this is war.
Trump's right to send known violent criminal gang members to the United States of America to wreak havoc and to take the lives of American citizens. Good old CNN with Jasmine Crockett, one of the biggest Looney Tunes in our government. Can't even begin to fathom how she's even in Congress.
President Trump seeking to use the Alien Enemies Act, a wartime authority, a law signed by John Adams in 1798, to deport undocumented Venezuelans that the administration say are dangerous individuals with ties to the gang Tren de Aragua. That gang is obviously associated with a lot of crime, human trafficking, drug dealing, theft, shootings, including in your state of Texas, right outside of your congressional district. Do you agree with this? And if not, what's your issue with the U.S. using any tool at its disposal to remove undocumented, violent people from this country?
I got to say real quick, the way he actually asked that was done really well. He laid out, this is Tren de Aragua, this is what they do. Are you against that and why? Stating the question in that way makes Jasmine Crockett's answer that much more insane.
Well, my argument is that we already have tools that are available to remove undocumented violent people from our country. And so the idea that you want to go into a zombie law, this is kind of like what we saw in Arizona when they decided to revive a zombie law around abortion. It is the fact that we can't trust this administration to actually use a scalpel, but instead they love to use a butcher knife on things. And so giving them this wide latitude to just kind of go across and just claim that anybody is anything is wrong. And so we do have courts, we do have processes, we do have laws and we should just go ahead and use those. There's a reason that nobody else has decided to go back until into Adam's times in order to try to find ways to make sure that we can keep our country safe.
We are in one of the most unprecedented times where the Biden regime, Kamala Harris was the border czar, remember, left the border completely wide open. In fact, it wasn't just wide open. They were going to other countries, putting illegals on planes, a lot of criminals as well, and flying them into the U.S. and letting them go. That's how far it went. And once again, this is the left showing you and telling you that they will always take the side of illegal criminals over the American people. Now on to the Epstein files and JFK files and all the things. Here is Trump's latest answer regarding the files, the release, Pam Bondi, how it's all being essentially handled at this moment in time. Take a listen.
A lot of intrigue surrounding the release of the Epstein files, Martin Luther King files, John F. Kennedy files. Some current and former FBI agents are saying, some of them telling me, that they feel the FBI establishment came out ahead in the standoff sort of with the New York FBI field office over releasing the records, and your Attorney General Pam Bondi demanding them but not getting all that she wanted. Is that process still on track? I think that's one of the most often questions I've been asked the last couple of days, to release these records on Epstein, MLK, and JFK.
Well, Pam Bondi's done a phenomenal job in every respect, and there could have been some holdback. I haven't heard too much about it, but they could. But the bottom line is the records are getting out.
Real quick, I have to pause it so I don't get a copyright on this clip. But, Trump's answer here is actually kind of controversial because there are many people on the right, conservatives, that really don't like the way that Pam Bondi handled the release of the Epstein files, the folder release. You remember this thing? I covered this as well. This was an absolute circus show. It doesn't matter what side you're on. This was a circus show. Now, I still want to believe that Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, they just need time and everything's going to get sorted out. We don't have any choice but to wait at this point. And let's pray and let's hope that Pam Bondi, Kash Patel really do have America's interest at heart and are really fighting to release these files.
The Kennedy records are getting out. Those are the ones I really wanted to see the most, with the Kennedys. And during my administration, as you know, I released a lot of them, but then a lot of people started coming in, people that I respected, people that worked for the administration, asked me not to release the rest. And I respected that. They gave me certain reasons, but I respected that. And I did say, I must tell you, I said that probably wish I did release the whole thing because I have no idea what's in there. But since then they found, and we found 2,000 more documents on Kennedy. And the one they want most is Kennedy, and it's going to be released. It's moving along, and it's moving along pretty rapidly. It doesn't go that
weeks
rapidly.
Maybe, or longer?
I say weeks. Yeah, I say weeks.
So Trump said weeks. Within weeks, we will have the Kennedy files. Now, there was another update here given by Pam Bondi on Fox News. Again,
the MAGA group is mad that they don't know more about the Epstein files. The MAGA group is mad that they don't know more about the January 6th investigation. Are you going to give us any more information on these two issues?
Sure. And first to the Epstein, I'm mad that I didn't have more information on Epstein. I was given 200 pages of documents. I've asked Director Patel. He came in after that, of course. I'd asked for those documents prior to Kash coming in. Kash is going to get me all the information. I've asked him to find out why I didn't receive all those documents and he didn't receive all those documents. We've now found out, of course, that they were in New York. We've received truckload of documents of evidence, and he's going to give me a deadline on when he can get this, and we will get out as much as we can, as fast as we can. All of these things that the president promised, we will be doing.
Now, I want to believe Pam Bondi. I know a lot of people are upset. A lot of conservatives, a lot of Republicans are very upset with how this is taking so long. And it can be frustrating. Absolutely. Like, if you're not allowed to be frustrated or ask questions about this, then we're no better than the left, who doesn't allow you to think for yourself. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about how this is being treated, how this is being released? how, or not released at this point. And if you feel like Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are going to pull through for the American people, now this is actually really surprising. Look at this. This is how Americans feel Trump is doing. Huge poll numbers for Trump. President cracks right direction threshold not seen, look at this, since 2004. Watch what the mainstream media was forced to admit.
First of all, the mood of the country. This really jumped out. We asked folks, is it in the right direction or the wrong direction? That 44% you say right direction, that's up since November. And if that doesn't seem like a lot, the last time it cracked 40%, you got to go back to 2012. The last time it actually hit 44 or higher, January of 2004. Wow. So a lot of this is Republicans, but independents, that number is also up since the election on the direction of the country.
Even just amongst Republicans, look at this. Now, 74% believe it's going in the right direction. They approve of what Trump's doing. And in April of 2017, during his first term, only 50%. So people have really woken up and, you know, and gotten over the TDS that the mainstream media wants you to be infected with, the Trump derangement syndrome. And they have to sit here and show you that Trump's approval ratings is the highest that we've seen in 20 years. And, the Democrats are in one of the worst positions that they have ever been in. In fact, they're doubling down on a lot of their garbage. And you even have Democrats coming out and saying this, despite the fact that Trump won the popular vote, the Electoral College, that Republicans won the House, the Senate, basically everything, right? And there's a mandate by the American people for Trump to turn America around and go in a more conservative direction, relative to where we have been going. Yet the Democrats are doubling down and saying that Americans want the Democrats to fight Trump.
Our new NBC News poll, as you just saw, shows the Democratic Party at an all-time low approval rating. Why do you think Democrats are failing to connect with Americans at this critical moment of urgency, which you described?
Well, it's what I just talked about. I mean, I think Americans want the Democratic Party to stand up and fight and to take risks. Listen, I understand that had we gone into a shutdown, even for a handful of days, it would have been difficult. But it would have sent a message that the Democratic Party is not going to be bullied by Donald Trump. I think Democrats in this country, but I think the broad middle of the public as well, want to see our party fighting in exceptional ways. That is the conversation that has to happen inside of the Democratic Party, inside our caucus. And if we don't get that right, if we continue to work with Republicans, if we continue to hand Donald Trump more power, we are going to lose our democracy.
Once again, they're still playing that we're going to lose our democracy because of Trump. These people don't get it. He's literally sitting here saying that not only do Democrats want Democrats to fight harder and double down on their insanity that has driven America into the ground and caused Republicans, Trump, to win in a historic way, but he's saying that just the broad American public, just the everyday American, even the Trump voters, want Democrats to continue to fight and try to spread their radical left agenda even more than they already have been trying to do. These people are so out of touch. It is insane. Remember this in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Look at verse 16 through 18 with me here. This is a beautiful reminder and promise of God. Rejoice always. Pray without ceasing. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. If you ever struggle to understand the will of God in your life or wonder what the will of God is in your life, this is a great starting point here. So do this with me. We can do this together. I can work on this as well. To start rejoicing always, praying without ceasing. And this doesn't mean that we have to pray constantly, like you have to have your head bowed and your hands together like this 24/7. That's not what it means. But it means to have a spirit that is inclined towards prayer. That when you are faced with a challenge, whether you're faced with something good or bad or everything in between, no matter how we perceive it, that our first inclination should be to go to the Lord in prayer, either thanking Him, asking, Lord, what do I do here? I need you. I need your help. Taking whatever it is that you're going through and giving it to the Lord first and foremost. But also having a heart that gives thanks in all circumstances. Again, no matter how we perceive what's going on in our lives, to know that we should give thanks to God for using whatever it is that He allows us to go through to not just bring Himself glory and honor, but to strengthen us through it. But hey, let me know your thoughts about all this in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, join this community. I would love to hear from you on a regular basis. And please hit that thumbs up button. You know when you like this video to get pushed out to more people, and it would really help spread the truth. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.